What's up, guys? Buckle up because you're about to enjoy an excellent Snaps game preview where we tell you everything you need to know about this weekend's game and probably some stuff that you didn't. Enjoy. You know what time it is. A lot of y'all listening are Georgia Bulldog fans. And the last game on the docket, New Year's Day 2025, the Georgia Bulldogs taking on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And it's a game in which Gunnar Stockton is going to make his first ever career start. And make no mistake, that is the storyline. That is the game. That is the thing that everybody's going to talk about ad nauseum. Hell, you're probably already sick of hearing us talk about it. But that is what it all boils down to. I think this is going to be a very defensive game. I really like Georgia's defense in this game in terms of stopping the Irish, but I also love the Irish stopping the Bulldogs here. So with a few weeks to game plan, can Stockton, Etienne, Frazier, Q runs that are now in play when they weren't before, can they find a way to create a game plan that can come up with enough to beat an Irish team that is playing the best football of its season and at full strength health-wise? Well,
no, they're not at full strength health-wise. That's what I'm about to get into.
No, they lost one of their D tackles, but they're still very
until you really fucked that up there at the end. What kept Georgia, in my opinion, out of the playoffs last year? They were banged up towards the end of this season. And listen, they still beat Alabama, but they were definitely not at full strength. And I don't know if Ladd and Brock were 100%, if they still would have beat Alabama or not, because Alabama just has Georgia's number, as we know. But they were not at full strength at the end of the season. Georgia, and I say this without them being at full strength because their starting quarterback, the most important position, is not healthy.
Hurt. There's literally not a worse position to be hurt.
But let me finish it all here.
You were rolling until you said that shit.
I know. I knew that. I knew I was going to say that the whole time. This is all part of the story here. So just Olaf, sit there and listen to the story. They are getting healthy everywhere else. Well, Notre Dame just lost. For those who don't know, who do not have ESPN updates going throughout the game, just lost Riley Mills for the playoffs. That is on top of Benjamin Morse, their All-American cornerback, their rush ends, Jordan and Traore, also out as well. So, they are getting worse. Well, Georgia, obviously, key position is out, but around him is much healthier than they've been the entire season. So overall, as an entire roster, is probably the healthiest Georgia's been since probably week one of the college football season.
The queen is worth more than a knight.
The queen is worth
more
than a
bishop,
knight.
or rook, or a pawn.
I agree.
We mentioned having multiple weeks of game plan. One thing I do love for Georgia here, Kirby, again, they might have committed some resources to Indiana. I'm sure they were, but they were probably expecting Notre Dame to emerge here. So they've been game planning Notre Dame for about 3 weeks. And one thing that Kirby always does, it's weird, right? The Bulldog rush defense wasn't great as a whole this year, but they did what nobody else could do, and they shut down Texas because they had to. They identified that as their key. Well, the key to stopping Notre Dame is very obvious. Same thing. Take away the rush game, try to force Riley Leonard to do enough through the air to beat you. That should be a very successful formula for Georgia. I firmly believe with the multiple weeks, I think Georgia can get that done. I think this Georgia defense will kick ass.
The difference between them and Texas is
Riley Leonard runs. I know the Q runs. The Q runs. Yeah, but he doesn't throw it like Quinn does, so that's way less of a threat on the other side.
Georgia's defense is better against that type of offense than they are. I said this before Texas game both times. Georgia's defense is better to equip to stop an offense like Texas than it is an offense like a Georgia Tech.
This is an Alabama defense with like a Notre Dame. Weeks to get ready for Riley Leonard Q run. They should be able to handle that.
And you don't think they prepared for a good majority of the offseason to figure out a way to stop Jalen and Alabama's offense?
No, Riley ain't Jalen when Jalen's on, bro. You know that.
No, I agree.
Two vastly different things.
I agree. I'm just saying from a preparation standpoint.
So I
do think Riley's playing better than he did at the beginning of the season. Jen Brock.
Whole team.
Jen Brock's a great OC. Yeah. And he's developed some really good quarterbacks. And listen, Riley's not going to go out there and throw for 250 plus yards. He hasn't done it the entire season. But he's more efficient. He's taking care of the football. He's got the legs. And Jeremiah Love should be healthier. I think they knew they were going to win that game. Didn't ask him to do a lot from him previously. No. He'll be at near full strength. It comes down to I love Notre Dame's defense. The injuries suck. I think Georgia's going to be able to do enough. Can Notre Dame's offense score 20+ points? I think that's the question.
I don't see this game getting in the 20s. If Notre Dame scores 20, they win automatically. I don't think Georgia's getting. You think Georgia's getting in the 20s with Gunner Stockton? What are we fucking talking about?
I think they can get to 21.
I don't think so. I think this is like 16-13 defensive battle, time control.
That low?
Yeah. I'm smashing unders. I see two very disadvantaged, not very. I see two disadvantaged quarterbacks here. Yeah. I think Marcus Freeman is going to have Notre Dame fully ready. Like, and Locke Hesse
with all the injuries.
Locke Hesse has to get, it's just one more injury, right? The D tackle is the only guy that's new. Locke Hesse says, they've been playing without Morris for weeks now. Is there an advantage in Notre Dame having no real tape on Gunner Stockton? Potentially. But I think Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman will have an idea of what Georgia wants to do from a Q run perspective. And I don't think Georgia's weapons are threatening at all, obviously. So I see Notre Dame's defense having a lot of success. I see Georgia's defense having a lot of success. I see two disadvantaged quarterbacks, and that's what tips me over maybe Notre Dame here.
Well, if Georgia's running backs are going to have to ball out. I think they're this is a game
that's what I'm saying.
Frazier and Etienne have to do their thing.
Yes, exactly. Well, it'll be a mixture of them and Stockton. But if I see the two, but same thing with Notre Dame. Jeremiah Love's going to have to ball out with Riley Leonard filling in as well, right? Like it's the keys are actually the same in my mind for both teams. Like Carson Beck going out, in my opinion, has made these two teams kind of shockingly similar in a lot of ways.
I would say Notre Dame's skill guys have been a little bit more consistent than Georgia's though. You know, I remember seeing this week 1 versus A&M. I was like, man, Notre Dame actually has decent talent on the outside, which I'm not used to seeing. Like they got some dudes that can make plays, at least more consistently than what we've seen from Georgia this year.
So there you go. So I mean, how can I not trust the experience of Riley Leonard here over Gunner Stockton and the weapons of Notre Dame? It's just because of the Georgia effect. It's because we know Kirby's a beast. Yeah. We know but there's not a huge talent gap here either. Like, is Georgia more talented top to bottom? Sure. But in terms of starters, I don't actually know.
No, Notre Dame's talented. I do worry about maybe line of scrimmage play with some of the backups going against a Georgia healthy offensive line. I do want to get this question in the chat. T-Bob's good friend BFW said on Saturday at the show in Columbus that Georgia can't run Gunner because he can't get hurt. And that's the thing. Like, you have a starting quarterback. If you have a reliable second, you're not always worried about, can he run? Can he not run? You know, we saw this with Florida this year. When their starting quarterback got hurt, you could not lose but you couldn't lose why am I drawing blank real quick?
I don't know that I could disagree more here though, because it's all in time. This isn't season management time. You got to fucking win this game. And the only way you're winning this game with Gunner is running him.
I somewhat agree, but there's 2 more games left. And I think Georgia believes
you can't worry about the next game until you get to Notre Dame. What are you talking about? If you don't go all in to beat Notre Dame, you're going to get fucking got.
I think Georgia thinks they can win without him necessarily carrying the ball.
If you do, then you will be a victim of your own hubris. If that is,
you will be 100%. I agree with this, but I don't think Georgia's going to say, "Hey, we want Gunner or need Gunner to run 15 times."
You got Jaden Rashada, don't you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't even know if he's 3. So I was told that Puglisi would have been the true freshman would have been in 3rd if they went to another overtime, maybe.
Yeah, he's way better than what's his name? Dylan Raiola, remember? No, way better than Dylan. No. Look, I don't know, man. I think that's crazy. I think I run Gunner 87 times if that's what I feel like it has to take to win. I say, hey, Gunner.
I don't think they need to. I don't think they need to. I don't think they
maybe they don't then. Maybe they don't. Then prove it.
I think Georgia is going to benefit from like not needing to. And I think but I also think you have to trust and you have to make sure that he knows that, yes, we're going to have runs for you at times. but you cannot be an idiot like you were versus Texas and get your absolute head blown off. So I think there's a trust factor too.
I tell him, hey, Gunner, you can't get harder than you did. You can't get hit harder than you did the first time. I mean, kid, you fucking died and came back to life, so you're fine, dude. Like, let's go. It's time, buddy.
If we're gonna run 15 times, I think that there has to be a level of trust that, dude, you got to take care of yourself, though. Unless it's, as we always say, third downs and goal line. If it ain't third down or if it ain't the goal line, get your ass down or get out of bounds.
Oh my God. Still one of the wildest sports pictures ever. If you listen to audio, it's Gunner's knocked the fuck out, eyes rolled in the back of his head. How is great flexibility by him that is no ligament damage in the knee.
Oh my God.
I mean, you know what the nice part about a hit like this is, though? You don't really feel it afterwards because you're kind of drunk. You know, you're kind of floating for a bit after that hit.
What's worse, the knee or the eyes?
The eyes are bad. The eyes are bad. Yeah, the eyes are bad. The eyes are really bad. Because the knee, I mean, I can get down on the ground and I can do that stretch, right?
Can you? Good for you.
Maybe not anymore. Not on my left knee. All my surgery joints are starting to fuck me, bro.
Yeah.
My left shoulder's getting so much worse. My left knee's starting to get bad. It freaking bums me out, but whatever. I dressed as Buddy of the Elf at my 5 a.m. work class this morning. Fucking, because you know what?
You love some tights right now, don't you?
The best way, they're actually pajamas that I wore this morning,
okay.
But the best way to spread holiday cheer is lifting heavy for all to hear.
Boom! All right, who you pick? Who you picking? Who wins?
Notre Dame.
Wow.
Is that like? Am I fucking?
No, you're not. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. I'm not. That was a
close game.
Pure
Georgia
like homer.
16-14,
that was a pure Georgia homer reaction right there. I apologize. I apologize. Notre Dame's a good football team. Notre Dame will make this close. I'm still very hesitant because if I wasn't a Georgia fan, I don't know if I would pick Georgia here. I'll pick Georgia. I still think that Notre Dame's roster is really talented. I think Georgia's still a little bit better. I think health is going to be a huge factor, and Gunner is going to be able to do enough for Georgia to win.
Oh, well, I'd say that was informative and fun. If you agree, please hit the like button, sub, and we'll see you next time for some more snaps.